Hi, YouTubers.
Okay. So, Valika, do you feel like giving us a recap?
No, not at the moment. I am in the middle of a bunch of stuff right now.
Oh, okay. Okay, basically, um, after having dealt with the undead issue at Austin, the group has headed back to the west in an attempt to reach Corton and return the um, Strong Force family heirlooms that were left in the clan hall. Um, upon entering the town, they made their way to the Liar's Lair to rest for the evening. Um, I'm really not remembering any other core details, unfortunately. I'm sure there's something I'm missing.
I think I remember we're waiting in a inn. I don't remember the name of it or a pub or whatnot for word from the family.
Sorry, I was texting. My sister's texting me, and I'm like, yeah. All right, here's what I got. We walked along the path down towards the crossroads again, passing by a wagon once again. This one heading north towards Austin. When we got to the crossroads, we headed northwest towards Corton and eventually came across some halflings under a tarp of sorts, keeping out of the rain. Valakad said hi and said they were in need of anything they could find us at the inn in Corton. And one of the halflings said that they will most likely see us there. We got to Corton, halflings holding spears at the 12-foot tall walled town eventually let us in, and we headed to the Liar's Lair, Pants on Fire, where we are about to enjoy lunch with breakfast mead around 11 a.m. or so. Dwarven lady server is taking a liking to our lucky golden lizard, giving him a couple more eggs than the rest of us and blushing when he winked at her.
He does that so much better than I do.
And then write it down and word it.
Yeah, I used to do that. So, um, you are at the Liar's Lair eating some lunch with breakfast meat, apparently. What would you like to do?
Well, we're here waiting for the family to, or family's representative to show up to either take these heirlooms or tell us how and where to meet the family. So while waiting, I look around at the common room to see how many people there might be there. Is it crowded or just a few people? And
There are. Uh, there's a decent number of people in here. Majority of them are halflings with a few gnomes sprinkled in. A few dwarves. Um, there's maybe a handful of um, human-sized folk. Though not necessarily human. Say a total of 25 people total.
okay, well, eating our brunch and sipping on the breakfast mead. Um, I kind of look around to see who I can see and try to listen for any local gossip.
Okay, go ahead and give me a perception check. Um, Weird. I'm assuming you're doing the same thing. Okay. First of all, it's kind of hard to hear a lot right now. There's a couple table of dwarves who seem to be very enthusiastically enjoying their drink already. Um, and they are, for the most part, drowning out the most of the rest of the conversations. Um, you notice a good portion of um, the rest of the tavern. The mood seems very somber, or um, almost mm, almost grief stricken. And as you do listen, you hear um, an occasional comment through the laughs and um, singing of the dwarves. And the comments are things such as, um, she was such a good kid, or um, he never would have done that on his own, or um, I just don't understand where he could have gotten off to. Let me rephrase that last one. It sounded a little weird. Um,
What do you want?
I just can't understand where he would have ran off to. That sounds better. And that's about it as far as you things you hear. Oh wait, I guess the big one would also be that you hear about um, Osric being sick, and that the healer has been trying to heal him since he returned from the clan hall, but hasn't had any luck. But that's about all you hear.
I'm showing.
Please tell me I didn't have that muted the entire time.
I heard it,
Okay.
No, you're good.
except
Oh.
that I had my face in eggs, so I wasn't really listening. So
You weren't listening?
to the conversation.
I didn't make the roll, so
I was listening to you. I wasn't listening to the conversation.
Oh, gotcha.
So it sounds like Osric is still ill, maybe suffering from having been at the Klein Hall, helping to fight at the Klein Hall. He's still sick, or still not healed. That sounds like a problem. Is there anything we can do to help?
did you relay the conversation you heard to the rest of us then? Like I said, I didn't make the roll, so I wasn't listening to background conversations.
I think that's what he just did.
I wasn't
Well,
sure
I
if
was
it was asking us or asking them.
Oh, gotcha. Who were you saying that to?
I
Reardon,
was
if he told the rest of us what he heard. I didn't catch if he did or not.
actually this is Aramel speaking, but
Sorry, I had my food in my plate too, or my
that's
face. Whatever.
yeah. I don't know what it is about you guys. You sit and stuff your face and don't listen.
Been on the road for 3 days, eating
Mm.
rations. This is good food.
All right. I do think the general mood in this common room is pretty sober, and uh, except for those drunken dwarves. What'd you say?
Seems that way. We just have to wait for their representative to show up. Because otherwise, there's nothing we can do at the moment.
Well, that's true, but from what I heard, it sounded like um, maybe there's some young people that have suffered some sort of catastrophe because I don't know their behavior or maybe their whole lives have gone off the rails and they're not coping well. But I guess we'll need to have some clarification, either from a barmaid or uh, from the House's representative when he shows up.
Who is talking about the young people?
I don't know who it was. I just heard it over all the other babble going on here. And there several people were commenting that, you know, they didn't really tell us what happened. Just they're sad about what happened. And I don't know whether it's something serious. Somebody died. Somebody got sick. Somebody uh, maybe just did something inappropriate. But it sounded to me like it's probably teenagers or youngsters, and they uh, don't necessarily know that what they do affects other people that much.
I don't think we can do much but sit here and wait because we're still missing a lot of info.
Well, we pretty much have to sit here until the House representative shows up. We're kind of on the receiving end of this. We can't go out through the town searching for this family. We wouldn't know where to begin.
I'll spend the rest of my time just idly waiting and drinking down some more drink, finishing my food, see what comes about.
Okay, so
Did we lose you?
no, give me a second here. Okay.
There are pretenders among us. I was taken from my family. 36,000, he's already been.
I would like to pay attention now, I guess, um, and see if I can hone in on whoever is speaking about these young people.
Okay. Give me a perception check. Um, After listening for a couple minutes, you finally catch through the dwarves' laughter and singing. You catch conversation um, between three halfling women sitting at um, a small table in the corner. Um, two of them seem ouch. Two of them seem to be crying at the moment, while the third seems to be doing everything she can to console them.
Okay. Then go up to the barkeep and order 3 meads.
Okay. Um, be 9 copper total.
All right. Then I will take the 3 meads with me over to that corner table and set them down and say, my sincerest apologies. I overheard you speaking and was wondering if there was anything that uh, our group could do to help the situation.
Um, the kind of the three of them kind of look up at you a little surprised, and kind of down the meads and back up at you, and the one who's consoling them, kind of a kind of an official looking halfling. She's wearing a uniform with um, the town emblem on it, and is wearing a suit of fairly well taken care of leather armor. She's got a short sword at her side, and as as you um, say what you said, she looks up at you and just kind of takes a deep breath and kind of starts to settle herself, in that kind of like, okay, now we gotta take care of this. She just kind of looks up at you and says, I'm afraid this is a personal matter. Rather, a matter for the authorities. Um, do you mind if I ask what your business is?
We just got into town about an hour ago, maybe hour and a half. I don't know. We just got into town about an hour ago. Um, we have done some special work for the Iron Axe Hall, as well as for Austin, and we have a certain specialized way of finding things out, or essentially helping people, and that's what we are really all about. And we are sitting here waiting for some officials of Corton to meet us. One of my party members, that gold lizard over there, um, really lucky guy, by the way. Um, he has some. He has a delivery for someone here in Corton, and we're waiting for them to show up. And I happened to overhear what you guys were talking about, and I just wanted to know if you needed any help, and if not, if it's personal, we can we can I can definitely leave you guys alone. But if you do need our help, we are here for you. So I just wanted to put that in your ear just in case. And my apologies for everything, for the intrusion.
Um, the one in uniform starts to respond. This is an official matter. Um, we of the court and militia will. Ouch. Um, sorry, I don't know what that was, but it hurt. We as a court and militia will take care of it, but before she can shoo you away, the one of the other two reaches out and grabs your hand and says, um, "Children are going missing. Our Becky is one of the first, and I know of at least three others who've gone missing over the last um, 2 weeks."
Arden or Riordan. Ben. Ben.
I left Fluffers out. He's been crying for 15 minutes, so I finally got him out. Been crying. Yeah, he has been down here crying. Anyway, all you have to do is when I got up, the bush bowl fell. All right, all you have to do is call me. I'm right here. I ain't going anywhere. Where's your headset? It doesn't work anymore? Just asking.
Hey Reardon, can you hear us?
Say what?
Can you hear us?
Yes, I can.
Okay, because we can hear everything you guys are
I
saying.
know.
Okay. um,
All right. So, she says that they've been going missing for how long?
2 weeks.
Starting 2 weeks. Um, and the necromancer's son died like a long time ago, right?
Yes.
Okay, cool. Um, and she said how many kids were missing? 3,
Four total.
4.
One of them is there, Becky.
As did she? Do you know if she had any recent new friends or anything of that sort? Do and what all have you heard this far? If and we could definitely check into what the issue is, because I mean, missing children is that's detrimental. They're our future.
Um, one of the two sitting in the corners kind of starts quietly sobbing. The other one says, "No new friends that I'm aware of. She's been um kind of um solitary recently. Um,
Did she used to be really social, or
not particularly, but recently she's kind of um what is pulled away from everything. Um, we've been having some. And he kind of looks around the tavern and um, says kind of a little quietly, says, "We've been having some money issues, and I think her friends have been starting to notice that she hasn't had all the things she used to." It's
how
not.
how old is Becky?
Good question. Um,
And while you're at him, the next question is going to be, and how old is the other children?
um, Becky is 11, and the other children. You mean the other missing children?
Yes, ma'am.
I think they're all about the same age. Um, I don't know for sure. I know, uh, God, kids. Now I gotta come up with names for these kids. Um,
You do the same shit in mine, so.
oh, I know. See, they're all just gonna have generic names. Harry, I know Harry is, um, 13. I'm not, Not sure about Ryan. He's a little younger,
Down.
and um, let's call it Lisa. Um, is also 11, and the militia, the guard sitting next to you, just chimes in and says Ryan's 12. Very unimaginative names for halflings, but that's what we're gonna go with.
Sounds good. Um, let's see. What else? What else? What else? Were were Harry, Ryan, and Lisa friends with Becky as well, or hang out in the same crowd per se?
Friendly. Um, I wouldn't say they were best pals or anything, but most of the kids here get along.
And are the families of the other children also not doing as well as they used to, or
As far as I know, they're doing fine.
okay? Well, I'm gonna take this back to our group, and we will see what we can do to one, put a stop to this, and two, I don't want to make any promises, but we're gonna see if we can find your children.
And the one who's quietly sobbing in the corner reaches out, grabs your hand, and just hugs it, and just totally covers it in tears.
Out of character, ew. But yeah, I will totally just let it flow because it's understandable.
Okay.
And I will go back to the table and explain everything to the rest of the group and say apparently about 2 weeks ago, a girl by the name of Becky went missing, and within the last 2 weeks, three other children have gone missing, all around that same age, and their names are Lisa, who's all. Sorry, did I say it? I didn't say it. Becky was 11, and Lisa, Ryan, and Harry were all about the same age as Lisa 11, Ryan 12, Harry 13, and apparently somebody's taking children around here.
There could be some stranger in town that maybe is taking children, or are the children just going off someplace? Are they up to something we should know about?
Didn't sound like it. Um, but it's definitely something we should probably investigate. And
Hmm.
once we once the person gets here that we need to deliver the stuff to, maybe we can head out and start looking.
Okay. Well, it just strikes me that uh, children about in that general age frame can tend to get very rebellious and start acting out against their parents just because they think they're old enough to make their own decisions.
Huh.
And while it's obvious to us that they aren't, they think they know everything. So we have to consider, I think, that they are just acting out. Doesn't mean that someone is not taking children, but I think we need to
But
look at both situations.
definitely, but surely inside of 2 weeks they would have come back.
You would think, unless they're so ashamed they can't. I think we need to find out if there are strangers who've been around in the last couple of weeks that maybe are taking children.
Well, the way that the third lady over there was talking, we're not going to get much help from the uh, town militia. So we're gonna have to do it on our own, and maybe after we find whoever is taking it, or if they left on their own accord, um, hopefully they will appreciate us, and at that point understand that we are here to help them.
Well, I'm certainly agreeable to help, but whether or not the local authorities are going to cooperate is not really all that important to us. I mean, it would help if they would give us information, but we've never had a problem finding out things anyway. So, sounds like something to do once we return these heirlooms.
Okay. As you guys are finishing up this conversation, a well dressed older halfling enters the tavern, and he takes a moment to scan the different tables. Um, and as his eyes fall upon your table, he kind of nods to himself. You can see him take kind of a deep breath, and he straightens his shoulders, and he makes a beeline for your table. And as he approaches, um, he kind of um, his eyes fall on Durkar, and he kind of hesitates for a moment. There's kind of like hitch in his step. He just kind of flinches before continuing his drive for your table. And as he comes up, um, kind of peeks over the edge and says, "Excuse me, are you the?" He looks down at his slip of paper. Valkyries.
We are.
My name is Devere. I'm here from the Strong Force family. I was, or we were under the impression that you are here to um, see Lord Cora.
Said he was tall guy, right? Dwarf or
This one that you're talking to,
yeah, or halfling.
halfling.
Halfling. Okay. Um, and he just kind of like was unsure about the gold thing, right?
Yeah,
Okay. Um,
he is speaking common.
um, yes, sir. Our friend here, and then in Dwarven, um, our lucky lizard, our lucky golden lizard, back to common, um, was tasked to bring what you needed.
And he kind of smiles, kind of gives you a smile. It's one of those great. I don't really care. I just do my job kind of smiles, and nods and says, "Then if you will follow me, please."
I'll look around and go, shall we?
We shall.
Let's get this done.
Okay, he leads you out of the Liar's Lair. Um, Across the square and up the road, and you can watch as he kind of very expertly skips out of the way of puddles and um, dodges aside from um, any people or anything that might brush his very very clean, very fine clothing. And he seems to be very adept at keeping it very clean and very fine. But he leads you up a short road to um, a human-sized manor. Um, it seems to be built for humans or others of that size, as opposed to the halfling, which is what the majority of the rest of the buildings in town are made, or how the rest of the town buildings are made. Um, as you um, approach the manor, he opens um, just a small gate in this. It's about a waist high fence. It's it's more decoration than keeping anyone out. But he opens a small gate, inviting the party to pass through it, and then he um, races forward to the door and opens the door, um, inviting the party inside.
How tall is this door?
Humanoid size, so like the normal, I don't know, whatever your front door size is. What is it, like 6.5, 7 feet?
Okay. I was just wondering if I had to bring Durkar's weird dragon in, or if he could actually walk in this time.
Yeah, he'd be able to walk in. I mean, it's not going to be comfortable, but as long as he's not willing to, or as long as he's willing to, you know, not make sudden movements, he should be fine.
Great, we're gonna be thrown out.
Um, he invites you into the estate, and he says, um, Master Cora and Mistress Lena are seeing to Osric at the moment. Um, there's a, and he kind of hesitates for a moment, and when he says the word healer, he kind of um, bites it off with a bit of distaste. He says there's a healer tending to Osric at the moment. If you wouldn't mind waiting, the master will see you shortly.
Thank you very, very much. And I'll bow to him.
And he kind of gives you a nod of respect and bows to you as well. He will leave and then come back just a couple minutes later with some tea, which he offers each of you a cup. And after about a total of 10 minutes or so, another halfling comes down the stairs, and he turns into the the study that you guys are sitting in, and he kind of absentmindedly looks around at the rest of you, and this man looks haggard. He looks exhausted. Um, he actually looks like one of the oldest looking halflings you've ever seen. Um, the wrinkles on his face are just deep with exhaustion, and he looks like he could fall asleep standing up. But he also looks very determined, and he works his way around the room over to the desk, sits, kind of climbs up into the chair, sits down, and says, "I understand you're here from the clan hall. Um, what can I do for you?"
Well, there is a matter that I would like to discuss, but first and foremost, our friend here, low tone dwarven, our lucky golden lizard, back to common and
I'm
at
gonna pat
normal.
I'm
At
gonna pat
it,
you on the shoulder.
you don't know this yet. You will eventually.
No, for the
And
switching of for the continuously switching of dialect, I'm gonna do it anyway.
um, and back up at a um, normal voice, common, I'll say, Durkar has a package that he was tasked to bring here.
And the halfling kind of scrubs at his face a bit and takes a drink from a glass sitting on the desk. It can only be some sort of alcohol. And he kind of looks up at you, Durkar, and says, "Package? What kind of package?"
I have apparently family heirlooms that you left at the clan hall. There's a pick and a chain shirt.
He kind of looks at the items that you're handing him and says, um, he reaches for him and just kind of runs his hand over the chain shirt. And he looks up at you, and it's almost like it's the first time he's actually realizing who he's talking to, and he just kind of flinches and looks you over real quick and says, "Thank you. My son was aiding in the defense of the clan hall. Um, he was unfortunately injured, and his armaments were removed to tend to him, but were left behind when he was evacuated. Um, it'll mean a lot to my family that these were returned. I appreciate it.
You are most welcome.
Is there is there anything I can do to repay you for your kindness? Was the payment promised? Um, is there anything that you have need of?"
I myself have no need of recompense. This is a duty fitting anyone of my station. These little yapples, I don't know.
And I will speak
And
up.
I'll give him a shy grin.
I will speak up and say, I know these are trying times for everyone, but if you have any spare food that you could part with, uh, Alia, not Alia, damn it. Uh, Commander Jadestone has tasked us with seeing if any of the surrounding towns had any spare food that they could donate to the Iron Axe Hall, and of course we would be of service in any way we could possibly be of service to you, more than just this. Um, they are running slightly low due to the attack on the clan hall.
Okay. He kind of stops to think for a moment. And he pulls out a ledger, kind of runs his finger down a couple pages and or down a page and flips a couple pages and runs his finger down it again. Um, and he tucks the ledger back into his desk drawer and says, Looks like we could spare some. It's not gonna be a great deal, um, but it at least it will help. Um,
Any little bit is definitely helpful.
okay, I will make arrangements to get that sent out there immediately.
We overheard something, and I don't want to. I know that you're having a that it's trying for you with everything that is going on currently. We overheard something in the tavern about some children that have gone missing recently, and we were wondering if we could, if you knew anything, and if we could have your blessing to try and help the families out.
My blessing to help the families out. Certainly.
Uh, there was a member, I believe, of your militia that had let me know that they had it under control, and I want to make sure that the children of your fair town get returned to you, and uh, I just didn't want to have it be at odds with your militia.
Certainly. Please see Osric. Osric. Um, Falero. My other son, Falero, is covering the captain of the guard temporarily while Osric is down. Um, if you need anything, please speak to him, and he will aid you in any way he can.
Could I get a spelling for that, please?
Certainly.
Is there anything that we can do to help Osric?
He kind of stiffens a little and looks you up and down. Um, Give me a persuasion check. Um, like I said, he when you ask that, he kind of stiffens a little and looks you up and down again, very analytically, I guess. Um, and after a moment, he just kind of um, he nods his head and says, "The healer that we've brought in from, well, out of town. He's supposedly one of the best in his trade, but he hasn't been able to to aid Osric any. Um, Unfortunately, the normal healer we have in Corton here is well, it's it's a long, complicated story with complications. But let's just say we're not on the best of terms. Um, Wimbley, this gnome that we brought in, can't seem to heal Osric. It's been 2 weeks, and he says that he just needs more time. So, but if you'd like to take a look, you are welcome to come up. That's the least I can do for you and your group. Um, Worst it can do is offer him some encouragement to get better soon. And he kind of nods and takes a deep breath before sliding down off the chair and walking towards the door. And he kind of waves the party to follow along with as he makes his way up the stairs. And despite the somber mood that he's in and the obvious exhaustion that he's fighting, um, watching him walk up the stairs, his little form walking up the stairs to um, on these normal steps, it's a little comical. Looks kind of like a toddler walking up the stairs. But how you choose to react to that is up to you.
I mean, I'd really love to pick him up and take him up, but that is very demeaning. So no, I would not do that.
Probably a good thing. Um, as you get to the top of the stairs, he um, takes a left, and you walk into a rather large room at the end of the hall, where as you walk into the room, you can smell the pungent odor of incense and um, sickly sweet smell of illness in the room.
Yummy.
And at the foot of the bed is, well, first of all, this is a full size bed. Um, Not a halfling size bed. But at the foot of the bed is a halfling woman, um, dressed all in gray. She's got a um, kind of like a bonnet on her head, and she's got her head bent down in prayer, and she's kind of wringing some kerchiefs in her hand. And as um, Cora and the party enters, she looks up, and you can see that she's got tears streaming down her face. Well, not currently streaming, but there are, um,
Bright streaks.
yeah, streaks from previous years. Um, she looks up at Cora, expectantly, and then as the rest of the party funnels into the room, she looks questioningly at Cora, and then at each party member individually, and gets a very alarmed look on her face. And Cora just kind of steps forward and says, Lena, it's okay. They brought some. They brought back Osric's weapon and armor, and they just wanted to pay her the respects. See if maybe there was anything they could do. And as he says that, um, you hear the gnome dressed all in black, um, wearing. He's even got a kind of like a face mask on over his mouth and nose. That's completely black. And he's got these small spectacles on the balanced right on the tip of his nose, and just as Cora asks, it says, just they're just here to see if maybe they can help. The gnome clears his throat loudly and says, "Any interference may disrupt the process that I've already started."
Insight check.
Go and roll me an insight check.
Ouch.
For the record, he is convinced that any interference will disrupt the process he started. Um, see, Baron, he is. Is he specifically a healer? Is that his actual job outside of?
Yes, and he's proficient in medicine, so I was going to ask if he could. I get gnomes and their toys and stuff, and he's a dwarf, but maybe if he can deduce something with this setup through a medicine check.
Okay. But just to clarify, he is actually a healer in his day job, not just
Yes.
adventuring. Okay. Yes. Go ahead, and I will even give you advantage due to him being a healer. Not that you needed it. Um. Hmm. What to tell you? What to tell you? Give me just a moment, folks. I need to do some typing. Talk amongst yourselves.
Dragon, lucky old dragonborn.
Not everybody talk at once.
I think we should all start rubbing the dragonborn's head for good luck.
Sounds like a
Be
real
the only
good
one doing
idea.
the fighting because nobody's going to have any hands left.
That's what you're there for.
Get no backup or nothing.
No one trusts a lone man. I understand that all too well. Oh, I saw. I'm sure what it was. Brother, tell guys. Almost something. What? Can't lose well over six. Get only the years. Yeah, man. I just gotta go groceries now.
On BG3, you can pick up goblins and throw them. Which is awesome.
What do you mean?
I'm hoping they knock it out with Starfield.
What's the Starfield?
Bethesda's new futuristic Skyrim type.
Gotcha.
So you know it's going to have a bunch of glitches and a bunch of things, and they're wrong with it. So you know that's just Bethesda for you. But
Okay, that has been sent. It is up to him what he does with it.
Um, Baron will Baron will say, "I that's no type of healing I've ever seen. That looks like That looks like something dark to me. I appreciate it, but that's not the right.
Wimbley, the gnome, kind of cuts you off and says, "Just because you're not up on the most recent healing techniques doesn't mean it won't get the job done."
Baron will look over at Cora and say, is he getting progressively better or progressively worse? Or staying the same?
Cora will kind of look back and forth between Baron and Wimbley and say, "He did warn us that Osric would get worse before he got better."
I mean, I've I've a spell that works much quicker. That let's just say it's questionable. I can I can take my life and give it to another, and it might be frowned upon in some circles. The these that he has looks like it's doing the opposite.
Wimbley starts to puff up his chest and say, "You can't let him interfere with this ritual. If you do, it could kill him."
Baron would like to do an insight check.
Go for it. He's lying through his teeth.
Baron will throw up his hands and say, "Sir, you can trust a gnome if you want. Whatever. I'll be waiting outside." And he'll turn around as he turns around, he will uh kind of lurch over and take some of his own life force and put it into Osric.
Okay. Do you want to describe how that looks?
Tendrils of black energy will wrap, like as he turns around, tendrils of black energy will, or black shadow, will crawl up Bairn and kind of soak in and then quickly rush down into the floor over and wrap around Osric and kind of pulse as the life pushes into Osric.
Okay. Um. Um. Ostrich gasps and seizes on the bed. All of his muscles going taut and his back arching up off the bed. Um. At the same time, Cora um drops to his knees, and the same black energy arcs to him, um, surrounding him, and he um, growls loudly through clenched teeth as the spell um, heals Osric and actually heals Cora as well. Um, as the spell comes to an end and the shadows fade, um, Osric relaxes on the bed and breathes easier, and Cora, um, breathing heavily, climbs to his feet, and instead of the hunched over old man that you guys were looking at before, um, you see Cora standing tall and proud, and the exhaustion lines from his face are gone. The He looks probably 30 years younger, and um, he just, it's like night and day. Um, and he rushes both Lena and Cora rush to Osric's side, and Osric opens his eyes, and um, he seems to be fine. He's smiling. He's alert, and um, looks to be con- um, conscious, alert, healthy. And the Wimbley, the gnome, kind of starts to huff. He says, "Well, if this is the way you're going to treat me and my services, then I think I'll be leaving." He um, grabs his bag and darts through the door.
I'll block
Baron's gonna.
in his way.
Okay, good.
Beat you to it.
No, I'm glad you did.
Okay, so
You're bigger. You're bigger than Baron, so
so what are you doing, Durkar?
Stepping in the doorway so he can't get out. How tall is this person, by the way?
2.5 feet,
Uh, alrighty.
3 feet maybe. He might come up to your knee.
palm his head.
Yeah, he
I'm
he might actually fit in your boot.
alright. I'm gonna send my dragon out to Haran to harry his head, and I'm gonna squat down and pick him up as he gets close.
You're gonna pick him up.
I'm gonna pick him up.
Okay. Um, Well, as you pick him up, he struggles against your hold. Um, Give me an athletics check. Let's just see if you can actually keep a hold of him. Yeah,
I'd be
you
able
do.
to. He's that scrawny little thing.
Well, he could squirm out of your hand. But yeah, you keep a hold of him very easily. Um, and as you lift him up, he kind of kicks and kicks and swings at you, and he's huffing and blustering and spitting, and yeah, he's just
With my other hand, I'm gonna give him a flick on the top of his head, really hard.
you do not know who you are messing with. This is unacceptable. You will release me immediately.
Valakat will look over at Cora and your call.
I'll slam him against the door jamb just for fun.
Um, Cora will say, um, are you telling me what he was doing was actually hurting my son?
I'm not really a healer. Our healer is clenching his stomach for some reason. But from what Baron said and what looked to happen, apparently he was picking both your son and your vitality somehow.
While they're all talking, I'm going to take everything off the gnome, go through his pockets, throw it all on the ground, make sure he's not holding anything.
Okay. Um, Cora will go to the window and shout out the window for the guards. Um, and within probably less than a minute, four guards come storming up the stairs, and spears pointed at everyone in the room. Um, and Cora points at the gnome, says, "Lock him up." And the guards snap to salute, and then um,
I'll place the gnome on the tip of a spear, on the back of his shirt.
okay, this spear promptly falls to the ground. Um, you gotta remember, this spear is being held by a halfling. Um, the guards kind of watch the golden lizard put the gnome on the tip of the spear. At which point they work to pull him off the spear and escort him out of the room. Um, his belongings are still on the ground, though. Just to be sure, Durkar, give me an investigation check.
Investigo! This is gonna be fun. Holy shit, with a negative too.
That's awesome.
You literally found everything that he was hiding on his person. Um, let's see. Some of the spell components he's carrying are pretty rare. Um, he's probably sitting altogether. It's probably 350 gold worth of spell components. Um, there's also his bag, which has not been gone through. Um,
I'll tip it over and dump it out.
okay, there are um, 4 vials in addition to to a holy symbol and a dagger in the bag. Um, the vials, 2 of them you recognize as healing potions. Um, the other 2 are they're a greenish color with kind of a an oily black cloud in them. It's almost like some sort of greenish liquid with some black oil. Something that doesn't fully mix unless you shake it really hard, and then it very quickly separates. Um, the holy symbol, which I'm fairly certain Baron would recognize as a archaic holy symbol of respawn. As in one that was used a very long time ago. It's not in common use any longer. Um, and there's also a dagger. It's actually a Chris, which is basically a wavy bladed dagger. It's the dagger that has the waves in the blade. Um, but it doesn't appear to have any kind of magic to it.
I'll keep the dagger for now. I'll hand everything else to Valakad to do whatever they wish.
I unstopper one of the greenish potions and sniff at it. Can I tell what it is?
Oh yeah, you wrote all those down already. Thank you.
Yep.
Let's see. I'm sorry, I forget. Are you
Alchemy.
alchemist? Alchemy. Okay, go and give me an alchemy check. Um, you don't recognize it, but you can tell from the odor that it's definitely some sort of poison. But it seems a lot more. Um, what's the word I'm looking for? Lots lot stronger, I guess, than your typical, you know, poison. It's very very strong, I guess. Strong's not quite the right word, but I can't think of the right word. So yeah, it's a very strong poison.
Well, then I will mention that to the others that I'm not sure what kind of poison this is, or sorry, what this is. Um, but it seems like it is some sort of a poison that is not an everyday occurrence for smaller vermin. Something more that something more that one might find in a back alley in a larger city.
And as you're saying this, Cora's face just kind of, Cora and Lena's and Osric's face just kind of pale a little bit, and they're saying, Cora's just like, um, I appreciate your help, and I will see to a reward for you as soon as we can agree on one. But perhaps we can adjourn this gathering to the downstairs. Perhaps
Most definitely.
let my son get some rest.
Most definitely.
And Cora will lead you back downstairs to his study. Um, where he will say, um, again, I can't thank you for whatever that was up there. I can't thank you enough for that. But how can I repay you? This is the second great favor you've done for me in as many hours.
I'll look around to everybody else and kind of. For me personally, and obviously we have operating expenses and whatnot, but for me personally, I am good with just spreading the word of who we are and letting us keep the gadgets and bottles and stuff that he had.
I am perfectly fine with you keeping whatever you found on that charlatan. Um, well, we will see if we can come up with an appropriate reward as time continues. Um, until then, I understand you are. Um,
Nothing stayed up on ground.
I understand you are staying at the Liar's Lair.
We are.
Okay. Um, I will see to the expenses there. Feel free to um, eat, drink to your content. Um, I will cover any costs that you incur there. And um, he kind of looks down at some paperwork on his desk, kind of takes a deep breath, and um, opens his eyes real wide, kind of fighting the exhaustion that's starting to set back in. Because while he's no longer having his energy drained, he has still been up for days on end trying to deal with his sick son. But he reads over a few of the papers on the table on the desk and says, "Now, on to the matter of the missing children. I know we discussed this a bit earlier, um, and Falero is going to aid you as far as the guard is concerned. Was there anything else you needed from me on that front?"
Your dad went to AFK.
Dad? Dad? Is your headset working?
Yeah.
Oh, it's just been so long since you actually pushed the button that it actually switched channels on you.
Who did it now? I don't know why.
Because
I heard that.
it's been so
Heard the
long.
little ding. I'm like, what the hell?
It's been so long since you actually hit the button to talk that it actually put you down in the AFK channel.
Oh, well, that's not good.
Yeah. Oh well, we got you back though.
Oh, okay.
Okay. So Cora
Uh,
asks if there's anything else he can do for you on that front.
I don't know if there's anything that we need. I'll look around to everybody else. Just as long as the militia is uh willing to share information, and of course we will share anything that we find with them as well, with your son Falero. Um, but yeah, I and if you don't know anything and we don't know anything, I think at this point we're good.
Okay.
Looking around at everybody else.
Then hopefully you make some progress on that quickly, and I will let you adjourn back to um, your rooms. And again, I thank you. And kind of stands up from his chair, which, of course, due to the size of the desk, means he's actually drops down behind the desk. She kind of has to come out from behind the desk to see you off.
Wasting all our time. Try to calm down, right? Days is getting longer. I'm a dickhead. I don't care what the governor says. You'll be lucky to get a job. USDA certified prime ship.
Okay, so he will see you out of the house, I guess.
I'll bow as we exit the house.
Okay. You ain't gotta go home, but you can't stay here.
Who's going to be riding on the streets?
Okay, at this point, it's probably about 3 o'clock in the afternoon.
It'd be political suicide. Someone's head is going to roll. It's sure as hell. Shape up.
Okay, who is carrying the stuff from
Turn nuclear.
Wimbley?
I would have
I
picked
got
up
you, Dad.
the. Okay, I would have picked up the spell components. I know that Durkar handed me the potion bottles. I don't know if anybody grabbed the symbol. If not, Baron would have picked it up.
And Durkar took the Chris.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay.
But that said, I will, as we leave, say, does anybody want these 2 potions of healing here? Healer?
I got 2 graders, and nothing else.
Are we sure they're safe?
I will unstopper both of them and take a smell and make sure that I said they look like healing potions, so I guess I should probably verify.
Give me another alchemy supplies check. Yeah,
They're definitely safe. I can guarantee it.
they're healing potions.
Sometimes. I'm sorry.
Well, I'll take one if no one else wants to.
Nothing to
Rudin, how are you on healing potions?
Say again? Could hear you.
How are you on healing potions?
Oh, I have 1 potion of greater healing and 1 potion of healing.
And Airmo?
Oh, okay. Just a second. Well, I have 1 greater healing potion. So
Okay.
I guess I'm running low.
I will give you 1 regular potion of healing, and then I will give the other one to Durkar, since he's our front runner.
All right. Thank you.
And I will keep the greenish potion, the greenish poisons for the moment, and I will identify them later.
Okie doke.
We'll need to identify the dagger in case it's something special. But unfortunately, I don't have my detect magic, so I can't tell if it's magical.
Okay. With that, it is 8:15. So let's go ahead and take a break. And yeah, see you back here in a bit. Go take your restroom break, get some snacks, some drinks, stretch.
Okay, thank you. See you shortly.
I'm gonna come back in. Look at me. I'm gonna take over. Heard from the hospital. Went to a surgery, but he's in coma. And he thinks it is. Honey, I'm not sure I want to go to Wyoming. I know, but I'll be there for a long time. And I'm sorry, but in 2 hours and 15 minutes, okay, there's more people dead and shot at than in a war movie from the 1950s.
Why would anyone ever want to go to Wyoming? Except for fireworks. Fireworks are great.
Okay, I'm back.
Okay, I'm here. How's everyone else doing? And Sky, I don't know. Nobody has any reason to be eating whatever the hell that is on your picture. That just sounds absolutely horrible. It. Oh.
No strong opinion there, huh?
I agree 100%. Um, it was being sold by Cards Against Humanity, so I had to buy it.
Oh, okay.
I figured
It.
it was a joke jar that had like stuff in it because it says on the top, um, prize in every jar.
Mm-hmm.
But no, it's really it's stinky and it's actually like clam mayo, and I don't like mayo, but supposedly there's something in it, so I'm gonna have to fish that out and get it, and then it'll probably stay like that. I'll probably glue it so that it doesn't stink, and yeah.
Careful, if it turns, it could expand and explode through the container.
Gonna turn into my very own gelatinous cube.
Could very well. Okay, so is everyone here at Durkar? I don't think I've heard you yet. Okay, we'll give him a few more minutes.
Sounds absolutely disgusting.
Right?
And I can tolerate mayonnaise, and I like clams, but the two together just doesn't do it for me.
I like clam chowder, but I don't know. Clam juice mixed with mayonnaise, just yeah, no. I'm surprised it's not already curdled. This is even better. The Best Buy date is September 7th, 2023, and I just got this today.
Somebody was expecting you to be using that real quick. Maybe they just think it's so good that once you try it, you just can't stop. Those poisons are unusually potent. That's the word I was looking for. Potent. Not that you care.
We totally got ourselves some 20,000 gold uh, poison from the Assassin's Guild.
If it were from the Assassin's Guild, it probably wouldn't have been a follower of Respawn carrying it. Probably would have been a follower of Merrick.
And he probably would have killed us and escaped without getting grabbed by a level 4 Dragonborn.
That too.
Right, level 5. But yeah.
You guys do know that I'm an assassin rogue, right?
And I'm going to shut up now before I piss a rogue off that likes to assassinate people.
Any chance you're back yet, Durkar?
Yeah, I'm back. My headset dropped. I had to reset.
Okay. Welcome back. Okay, so basically you guys came into town. You listened to some rumors in the tavern. You went and talked to Cora. Solved some problems with his family. And yeah. Heard some rumors about some missing children. So, what you guys want to do?
We want to go talk to Falero now or talk to Falero later and go back to the inn now? Or
We could spend the rest of the day collecting information and then head out tomorrow.
I guess let's go find Falero.
Sounds good.
Okay. You make your way over to the guardhouse. Um, inside, or as you enter, there's a um, there's a couple of guards kind of um, lazing around, not really doing anything. And there is a third one sitting in a desk. Um, his clothing is kind of bedraggled. He's got a stain on his um, tunic, and it's kind of pretty badly wrinkled, maybe even torn in a few places. Um, the leather armor is on, but it's not put on properly. Um, the weapon, the belt, the way the belt is tied, the weapon would not be very easy to draw. And um, he is wearing um, a hat rather than the typical. It's kind of like a floppy hat rather than the typical guard's helmet. And he's furiously looking over these documents on the desk, just kind of flipping between them. Um, he'll look through a few and just kind of put them over into another stack, then pick up some more and put them in another stack, and then pick up the first ones and flip through them again, put them in a third stack, and it there doesn't seem to be any rhyme or reason to what he's doing with these documents, but and he just seems very flustered and out of place.
Excuse me, would you happen to know where we could find a Valero?
Um, he kind of looks up at you and says, just kind of says, "Uh huh," and goes back to his papers.
We were sent by Cora to talk to Valero.
He looks up at you again and just kind of squints at you and looks down at his papers and just kind of under his breath he says, "Uh huh."
So I'm just gonna go back here and talk to Valero, okay? Pointing back behind him.
He looks up at you confused and looks behind him, looks back at you again, says, "Um, why do you have to be behind me to talk to me?"
So you are Valero. Awesome. I'm Valakad. This is Durkar. Aramel. Reardon. Bairn.
Yes.
We're the Valkyries.
"Uh huh." And now he's just looking at you like, "What's going on?"
What the fuck?
Yeah. He has no clue who you are, what you want, what you're doing.
No, Fluffers is outside tonight.
He what?
Yeah, he's getting me out of his sight for tonight.
I'll say your father instructed us to come talk to you about a dire situation. Some children that have gone missing over the last couple of weeks. We did, by the way, bring your brother back from the brink. I would love to know what his reaction is to that.
Osric? What did you do for Osric? Wait, what children? Wait, more children? He just breathes deep, sighs deeply, and says, "How many more children are missing?" And he starts picking up papers and leafing through them and says, "I can't wait until Osric gets back." And he just growls to himself under his breath and just continues leafing through papers, looking up at you every couple of breaths to wait for your response.
We would like to help you so that you can I don't want to say that word. So that you can take it easy. You seem really flustered, and we would like to help you find. I've been told 4 children total that have gone missing, and Osric should be back soon to help you. He's currently resting, and he should be up and ready, hopefully, within a day or less.
He looks at you as if he's trying to figure something out, and he just, it's like his mind is just not grasping something, and he just stares at you for a good 2 minutes before he finally says, "Osric's back. You fixed Osric. Osric's gonna come back."
I'm going to probably gonna get hit in the head, but um, I'm gonna say, uh-huh.
He puts the papers down, leans back in the chair, takes a deep, long breath, and you can just see all the tension drained from him. It's just, it's almost inspirational how much tension just drains from this man. And after taking a couple of long, deep breaths, he opens his eyes, and he's like a new man. He looks at you, his eyes are a little more focused, and he says, "Okay, I'm not a very good soldier. I don't know if you've noticed that.
I have not.
Now, you also asked something about the 4 missing children. How can I help you with that?"
I spoke with uh, one of your compatriots at the Liar's Liar. Man, I really want to say pants on fire every time. Um, um, I talked to one of your compatriots at the Liar's Liar, and two other two other ladies, and they mentioned that children keep going missing. Your compatriot, I did not catch her name, but had said that you guys are handling it and that we kind of needed to stay out of it. Unfortunately, we don't like to stay out of things like that, and we want to help you guys as much as we can. Doesn't mean that it will work out in your favor, but more eyes on it would be beneficial, and especially outside eyes that might see something from a different perspective might help your situation.
Understood.
So
Understood. And I appreciate any help you can give us. I'm more than willing to accept your help. We haven't found these children, and at this point, the investigation is stalled. Um, I'm more than happy to help you. Whether um, basically just tell me what you need from me.
These stacks of papers you're going through are do they have to do with the children?
Good portion of them, yes. They are the reports and list of um, any leads we've had on those cases in the last 2 weeks.
Obviously, the papers that we don't need to see, we don't need to see. But could we peruse your stack that has to do with the children?
Certainly. Um, if you would give me just a moment, I'm going to have to reorganize these.
Take your time.
He kind of um, chuckles nervously and starts to go through the papers, separating into like 3 or 4 different stacks. And um, when he's done, he hands you 2 stacks of papers. One of them are basically all the reports on the missing children themselves, and then the other stack is lists of any clues or leads that they have followed um, in you know in the process of this investigation. Um, that being said, I am not a cop, so I have no clue what kind of information would actually be in these papers. So you guys ask me questions, I will tell you whether it's there.
I will spread out the papers and let everybody else look, because I'm also not a cop and I've been stretching to get this far.
Okay, so what do you guys want to do first? What do you want to look at first? Is there anything specific you want to hear? I mean, you guys
I'm
tell me.
guessing. I mean, we're gonna look through the stuff. See, obviously, we know that the first one was started. The first person, Becky, had been taken 2 weeks ago.
Yes.
If there is a pattern, if it's, one person, then 2 days, another person, and then 5 days, another person, and then 2 days, 5 days, or if it's one person, 3 days, one person, 3 days, that kind of thing.
Okay, so you want to look for a time frame between the abductions.
Yeah, and
Okay.
then also a time frame, day or night, like when the report is, oh well, she was in her bed when we went to bed, and the next morning she was gone,
Okay.
or she was supposed to come home from school or from arts and crafts or weapons or whatever. I don't know. And like thinking the mall. No, there is no mall. Um, and she never came back.
Okay. Becky. Um, let's see. See, Becky disappeared 2 weeks ago. Um, she was. She never came home from playing from playing. She was supposed to be home at dark. Never came home. Um, see what were the other names? It was
Harry, Ryan, Lisa.
yeah. Harry 13 was the next to go or to disappear. Um, he disappeared from. That was 3 days later. Um, he was not in his bed when his parents looked in the morning. See, it was Ryan was next. He was 2 days after that. No, let me rephrase that. Let's make that 5 days after that. And he went missing during the night. His parents checked in on him during the middle of the night, and he was gone. And the last one was Lisa, who disappeared, let's say, 3 days ago. And she, um, let's see.
They open the door now?
She went to get water from the river for breakfast and never came back. Okay, does that answer all those questions for you, Sky?
Yep, and I got nothing from him.
Okay. May I ask, are you aware of anyone in town, maybe 3, 4 weeks, a, a stranger attracting anybody's attention or just being kind of in the shadows?
There's been a weird, um, weird gnomish fellow. Um, I believe he was here, uh, claimed to be here to help my brother, but I don't know. He seemed a little suspect to me, but um, he
He
may
got his head snapped. Sorry, snapped in his head.
he what? I didn't
Or
I didn't actually hear what you said.
okay. He got Snapped in the head. He's should be locked up here.
Oh, and Falero kind of looks sheepishly at the two guards who are just kind of lazing about. And says, "Well, then it's probably not him. I hope." Um, Other than that, the town does see a good number um, of travelers. Um, it keeps the travelers and merchants keep the liar's liar in business, which is one of the more reputable and dependable businesses around here. Um, Most of the others are cater to smaller folk, and he kind of looks the party over, kind of grimaces. Says, um, so I'm not really sure how I can help you on that one. I don't know that there's anyone specifically shady, but I believe Wembley is the only one that specifically stood out to me. You may get a different story from some of the more experienced guardsmen.
I wonder. Uh, we talked with, I believe it was Betsy's mother, or at least family member. Could we get an indication of where the other children's families are so we can talk to them as well?
Certainly, and he points to um, essentially addresses on each of the reports and explains how you can find each one. Uh, when you are finished with these reports, I would appreciate it if you would return them.
Of course, definitely.
Reports and paperwork is where my talents lie, and I would hate to lose some due to mishandling. Is there anything else I can do for you, or
Anybody else have any questions?
Not that I can think of.
Would we be able to? Let me see just a sec. Yes. Um, would we be able to speak with Wembley near his cell by chance?
Um, certainly. You say he's here?
Um, your was it Cora or Lena? I'm not sure.
Cora.
Um, okay. Cora shouted for the guards to come and take him away from uh your family home. Um, so my assumption would be that they took him to your barracks, or if you have a jail outside of your barracks.
Okay. He looks up at the two soldiers kind of lazing there, and Jarek. Jarek. He kind of laughs or chuckles nervously at you. Wendell. And he picks up a letter opener and throws it across the room. It just kind of misses both of them completely and just kind of plinks off the wall. And one of them just kind of sits up, turns his head, looks your direction, and then sits, and then slouches back down. And Flare's like, um, yeah, certainly I can take you. Let me take you over to the jail cells. And he walks over to one of the other guards, and you can hear him asking for something. And the guard just kind of takes keys off his keychain or off his belt and just kind of holds them up to him with one hand, with hanging from his finger. And Falero takes the keys and turns and says, "If you wouldn't mind coming with me."
Follow.
Okay. He leads you um, to the other side of the building and down a narrow flight of stairs where he unlocks a barred door, holds it open for you guys to join him on the inside.
I will enter.
Is everyone else joining?
Baron is definitely coming in.
Okay.
I'll go in.
Aramil, Reardon? Aramil, Reardon?
They fell asleep.
Yes.
Hello?
Y'all coming in with us?
Yes.
Yes,
Okay.
definitely.
Maybe they just fall asleep to my voice.
Hey,
Um,
only seen
Oh,
Jeff 5 times.
oh, I only heard it once.
yeah.
He will close and lock the door behind you, and then lead you down to another block where he opens the door again, leads you guys in, closing the door behind you, and kind of points off to a central cell where you see Wembley sitting in the corner, very grumpy, pouting. And he looks up and sees you guys and says, "Now what do you want?"
Answers, of course.
Yeah, well, good luck with that.
How wide is this cell?
How wide is it?
Or dimensions of the cell?
Um, about 7 by 7.
Okay.
You know, I took a tour of Jeffco Taj Mahal, and that 7 by 7 is kind of generous.
Yes.
Circus train. My room on the train was 8 by 5.
Damn.
Yeah.
Yeah, but you could leave that when you wanted to.
True. Um,
Must have been an important person, huh?
I had it a little better than the people that had the 8 by 4 rooms that slept two to a room. At least I got my own room.
8 by 4 Tudor room? Ouch. Talk
Yeah,
about cozy.
yeah, that's what the dance troops got. Um,
They were cozy.
Sleeping on top of each other.
That's what
On
bunk
purpose.
beds are for.
Sorry, go ahead, Balakan. I keep interrupting you.
um, sec. Let me. You've been reading Osric for 2 weeks, correct?
Little less than that. Why? You think you're special because you were able to treat him in one day?
I mean, I wasn't going to say that we are, but since you brought it up,
Not all healers have the benefit of magic.
but you were, Baron will say, but ye were using, damn it, but ye was using components of a spell. That is not the, that is not the accent I was going for, but yeah, that.
I loved it anyway. I was using the components of a ritual. You would think that a caster such as you would know the difference. Did you just
um,
cast that?
he would have cast it like right as he was done talking. Baron would, because it's Baron's spell.
Okay, as in before he responded with.
Yes,
Okay.
but before he responded with the ritual thing.
Okay, well. He succeeded on his saving throw against it, and you would know that, so. So what I say stand. What I said
Okay.
stands.
Out of character, that doesn't bode well. But in character, a ritual is still a spell. of sorts. And according to Baron, and I'll look over at Baron, and the components you used are a certain set of components that are typically used with necromancy. Except that instead of siphoning from someone else to Osric, it seemed as though you were siphoning from Osric and Cora to someone else.
Okay.
And as Valakad says that, we will try this again.
So you're casting the second time?
Yeah, because Baron would know. Baron would have known that he had succeeded, right?
Yeah.
Fuck you.
And he will respond with, you can cast all the spells on me you want. My position will not change. I was doing what I could to help the boy. If you can't see that, that's your own limitation.
Insight check for Valakad.
Go for it. Definitely lying.
I understand that you came to town specifically to help Osric.
Yes.
What do you know about the missing children that have started missing shortly around the time that you made yourself known to the town?
He kind of looks at you, and a smile spreads across his face and says, "Children? I know nothing of children. I have nothing to do with any children."
I did another Zone of Truth right before that.
Oh, you did? Okay.
Gotta go. Yes, finally. Is he telling
Well,
the truth?
let's see. That is what kind of save is that?
Charisma.
Okay. Yeah, he definitely doesn't beat that. Um. Actually, doesn't tell you if he is telling the truth. It just can't. He just can't lie. So basically,
Right.
what he says stands.
Okay.
Because he wants nothing to do with children.
Um. Would how did you hear about um how did you hear that Osric needed healing?
The Strong Force family put out a request for a healer. I responded.
And where do you hail from?
Great. Um, he's just gonna say, not these parts.
Makes sense. Um, as a healer of your renown, um, you obviously carry some potions with you for healing. Um, why didn't you use the healing potions on Osric? We found some in your bag, and a couple of green healing potions, and there were a couple of red healing potions.
He kind of lifts his eyebrow at you and gives you a small grin. Says, um, I have used some healing potions on him, but I was attempting to see. I have used some healing potions on him, but I was attempting to um hold off until I had hold off on using them until there was no better choice. No, let me. Shit.
That's a shitty spell, isn't it?
Um, I was trying to hold off on using them until I had no choice.
It sounds like maybe you were really just trying to stretch out the healing period so you could uh, get more money from his family. Not a very honorable thing to do.
Let me read this spell real quick. Um, he kind of huffs at you and That is just despicable. That is just a horrible accusation. Why would you
And
ever accuse me of that?
insight check.
Exactly, insight check.
Go ahead and roll insight, both of you. Everything he said is absolutely true. It is a horrible accusation, and
Do I believe that he?
no, he
Okay,
he
yeah.
is he is totally blowing smoke.
Like he's wording it that it's despicable, knowing that it's despicable, knowing that he was doing it specifically to for that reason.
He knows it was despicable, and he is
That's the reason he did it.
he is
He's a
faking his insult or his offense, whatever.
yeah. He's a blood sucking charlatan.
So I've seen obviously the red healing potion. I've seen them for sale in places. I've not seen the green healing potion before. What else does it do besides heal?
It has some very surprising effects.
Like sudden death.
He just kind of Aramil, was that in character or out of character?
That was intended to be in character.
Okay.
Uh,
He will
I was trying to very, word things carefully so that I could get more information.
the gnome kind of looks at you, Aramil, and his smile kind of slowly fades. He kind of looks disappointed. And he says, um, I could always suggest you try one and see how it goes.
I'll pull one out of my pack and say, I'm not a poisoner, but as an alchemist, I could definitely tell this is not a healing potion. Maybe you should try it.
I never said it was.
I know. I was just trying to figure out what you had let on. So maybe you should show us what kind of special, uh, what'd you call it? Special cases? I don't know. What kind of special blah, whatever you said, it has in store.
Oh, special effects.
Special, yeah, that would work. Yeah, but maybe you can show us what special effects it does do.
You already know it's a poison. There's no way I'm touching it. That being said, unless there's anything more that you have for me, I think we're done here.
That is fine. Thank you very much for your help.
And he says, his voice absolutely dripping with sarcasm, have fun with the kids.
I'm gonna drop some mushrooms just inside the cell.
He will look at the mushroom. The mushrooms look at you with kind of a quizzical, suspicious look. Um,
They'll heal you.
he'll
They'll sustain you. Oh, I didn't mean to hit that twice.
yeah, he'll go over and pick up the mushrooms and kind of sniff at them and look them over, turn them over in his hands, kind of run his fingers over them, kind of shrug and nod at you.
How close is he to the bars right now?
I'd say he's standing right inside him. Depends on
I want to.
how close you drop the mushrooms.
Oh, just inside the gate.
Okay, then he would be right up against the bars.
I want to grab him by his scruff, lift him up to my eyesight, pull out the dagger, and go, I wonder what this does. And I'll move it towards like I'm going to cut him with it.
Okay, give me a athletics check, or don't even bother. Um, you pick him up and he kind of squawks and just kind of kicks. He's trying to kick at you and through the bars. All he's doing is kicking the bars with his toes and just kind of, it's like he's stubbing his toes over and over. And as you move the dagger closer to him, he kind of does what he can to draw back, and he's fighting your hand. Eventually, he um, just starts to scream. Says, "No, no! Get it
Is
away
there
from me!"
any? No, I'll look him dead in the eye and goes, is there any other information we should know?
I have nothing more to tell you. Get away from me. Put me down. This is an insult.
Well, in that case,
As are
I'll.
you.
So, what? Yeah, back to what I was doing. Like, in that case, I'll stab two of the mushrooms with a dagger and put him in his mouth. And make him chew and swallow two mushrooms at once.
I'm gonna look over at Valero and say, my sincerest apologies. I think this might be commonplace in the world, I guess, that he's from.
But I won't cut him with the dagger because I think I got the information I needed that there's something special about it.
Or he just didn't like the idea of a dagger coming towards his eye.
Well, I didn't say I was going for his eye, but
Oh,
anyway.
that was the impression I got.
Oh, okay.
Um, well, um, give me an intimidation check.
First of all, why does one of those spells say DC of 13 and the other one says a DC of 14?
Because one of you copied out as a description only, or you clicked
Oh,
as description only. The other one was actually cast.
okay. You said intimidation?
Yes.
I like to intimidate.
Okay.
It's my highest things, intimidation and persuasion. Go figure.
And honestly, out of character, not that it matters, but he should have freaking advantage because he's an otherworldly creature, one of his kind, big, towering over the gnome, and holding him by the scruff. But that's not my call. And it doesn't matter, even if you did do that. But
Okay. Yeah, he's not gonna beat you with a 21. Um, he will reluctantly chew and swallow the mushrooms, and
You'll feel better for a minute.
he his eyes kind of slowly go out of focus, and he starts to his eyes start to dart around the room, and then they focus on something over your shoulder, and he flings his arms up and covers his head and shouts, "No, don't touch me! Leave me alone! Let me go! Let me go!"
I'll toss him to the back of the cell and leave one more mushroom in there, and I'll give the rest of them to the guard. Says if he gets out of hand, just give him some more of these.
And he yanks his pillow, his mattress, and his blanket off the cot, or off the bed, and kind of built it up like a little fort around him in the corner. He's just like this ball of textiles in the corner, and
He shouldn't give you any trouble for the time being.
you can still hear him screaming, telling things to not touch him and leave him alone, and um, do you know who I am? And yeah, all sorts of stuff.
I will whisper, "But who are you? You have not told us yet.
What was that second half?
You have not told us yet."
I am me, and I'll turn around and walk out the cell.
Um, Falero will follow you, Durkar, and continue to ask you, um, continue to talk about the mushrooms with you. He's curious.
I'll explain what they are as we walk.
Okay. He's fascinated. Um, as far as your response, um, sorry, Alakad. He says,
Actually, you know what? I'm gonna say that in his head.
let's see.
Because that's just going to be freakier even freakier than it already would have been.
That could very well be right. Let's see. He You suddenly hear him shout in response to your mental incursion. He says, I am Wimbley Barrelpot, fifth shadow of Rethbon, and um, and holder of the Black Quill.
Ask him again about the kids, I'll whisper to Val.
You said Wembley. What was his? Did he say his last name? Did you say it?
Barrelpot.
His head on a barrel in a pot, and that's what. Um, is that it?
There.
Um, then I will say, but what about the children?
And
They're going to.
he shouts even louder, "Screw the children!" My niece shouted at me from down the hall. Agreed. Sorry, go ahead.
Um, where are they though? They went somewhere.
He's still saying this in his head.
Yeah. Them somewhere. Where did you take them?
For all I care, they're rotting in the bottom of some gorge. If you haven't noticed, he really doesn't like children.
Apparently. We. The children will find you, and the children will take care of you. We must part ways at the moment. And then I'll walk off as well.
Okay. Okay. Okay, so
We
you
did
guys.
not see. We did not see a quill in his stuff, right?
No. So everyone's left. Poor Wimbley is still back there screaming his head off. So what do you guys want
That
to do?
seems a good way to leave him. Maybe the militia will decide that he needs confinement for his bad behavior or whatever. Put him in a some sort of mental institute.
We'll see. Okay, Filero escorts you back to the desk. He drops the keys off with the lazy soldier.
I suspect that these lazy soldiers behave somewhat differently when his brother is around.
That that's a good chance.
I was waiting for Reardon to be like, "Hey, straighten up." Like out of character. Be like, "Hey, put your shit on right." That's no. Stand up right now. You are military and you're going to act military, damn it.
Now, wait a minute. That's not my character.
No, that was totally Eagle though.
Poor Eagle.
And I got better.
Man, these guys could use that. These guys could use that straighten up. But I don't know. Do you have any reason to stay with dude anymore?
Well, actually, as much as I hate to do this, why don't we go ahead and call it there? I know it's a couple minutes early, but
Okay.
but it seems like a good place to stop it, and we can pick it up there next week.
Which day?
Okay.
That's one thing I want to talk to you guys about. Ken and Durkar, are you guys interested or willing to move the game to um Saturdays? Because if we move it to Saturdays, there's a chance we might be able to get Kenny to come back. But if either one of you has a problem with that, then we won't move it.
Yeah. That's my wife claims that day.
Okay, then never mind.
I was gonna say, don't you have other games on Saturday too?
That one
Or
is on hiatus indefinitely for the moment. We finished the first campaign and we're taking a break before we continue on into the second one.
Fair enough.
5.5 years to complete that campaign, man.
And you only got to 21 in 5 years? Jesus.
I
And we had
there was a time that it took us like I think about a year to get like what was it like 12 to 13 or 13 to 14?
I was also in the hospital for like half of that.
see.
But I unfortunately have things I need to do. So we will not transfer our game to Saturdays. We will stick with Fridays, and Kenny will just have to suck it up.
Okay.
Kenny will have to tell his mentor people, "Hey, I can be mentored on Saturday, damn it."
Right?
Yeah. That's not the way that works, guys.
If I'm not getting paid for this, you can come in on Saturday and teach me.
Okay, but I gotta get going, guys, so I will talk with y'all later.
All right,
All
see
right, have a good night.
Bye.
And their car strikes again with his magical mushrooms.
ya.